This is a Hardball Gets AFL show. My name's Nick Rynne, joined by Xavier Ellis and Ryan Daniels. Gentlemen, what's going on?
Oh, very excited to be here. Big weekend of footy we just had. Big weekend to come. The screens have gone out for some reason. Everything's happening here.
Microsoft. It's all run by Microsoft.
Yeah.
In all seriousness,
CrowdStrike.
Did that affect your life at all?
Nah, so Fridays I do some radio. I fill in for
off.
you on Friday morning. I go
I
I
didn't work.
write a column.
Yeah.
I was able to send that column in to the editor.
Yeah.
And then I'd switch off.
Yeah.
So, no, I didn't notice
Didn't
a single
notice.
thing. Neither did Kel, my wife.
Nah.
Our life did not change whatsoever.
Yeah, if you
Really?
weren't in an office. Yeah, briefly, and then I just hotspotted from my phone and all was fine.
I saw some bloke complaining that he's a wealthy man and he has one of those fancy fridges with he couldn't open his fridge. I hate it, yeah. But no, my life was so unchanged.
Yeah.
No, I didn't even know what was going on.
What does that say about us? Is that a good thing? Is that we're disconnected
tapped
from?
in
We're not tapped into
the corporate life.
the hub at all times.
No, it means that who gives a shit?
You did
Yeah.
notice. You did notice who was just like. A lot of people were just happy for their computers not to work on a Friday
The
afternoon.
bosses were stressing. the middle rung
How good.
and the
They were
bottom
just
rung
off.
were just like, oh, that's us done.
Well, Brent Stewart, our chief sales officer this morning, called it a snow. It was like a snow day. You know, snow day. Nobody can go to school. Everybody just mill around.
Well, it would have been this awkward moment though, because what time? It was around lunchtime.
Oh
wasn't
no, it was like
Yeah.
mid-afternoon.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
But there would have been this clock where it's like, well, you just in
How long
case
do you
it
have to stay
starts
for?
working,
Yeah.
Yeah.
then it would have hit a point where it's like, well, now there's no point. We may as well go home.
So actually, now I'm thinking about it, Microsoft did affect your life at some stage. Because the email from Channel 7 for the boundary, where they told you what outfit to wear, mustn't have arrived.
I wanted to
it
know
mustn't have turned up.
How this what was the thought process? Did somebody dress you?
What was
No.
the thought process?
No,
That's a good question.
Nick,
Did you see?
No,
I'll
Nick,
go the jumper. Oh no, I'll go the
You
formal
saw,
jacket.
you saw it.
Yeah.
And then what about the Temu shoes? The
I didn't see
$18
the
runners.
shoes.
He had runners on. He was wearing runners.
That's what they tell you to wear. It's casual Sunday, right? So I have had the conversation with the wardrobe lady at Channel 7 in Melbourne, and she said specifically, you got to wear the jumper, you got to wear the jacket over the top,
But
you
what
got
was
to
the
wear
jacket?
runners.
What was the jacket?
It's like a coat, an overcoat.
I reckon just wear a suit jacket, to be honest.
Well, I was going to, but I do what I'm told.
I know, but
Xavier.
that three-quarter winter jacket.
I'm not an expert
Is
in
this-
fashion.
Nah.
Neither are you.
No, I said on air, you look like the homeless bloke at the end of my street. You had a three-quarter jacket on and runners.
Oh, come on.
They did.
I
You
got
did.
a lot of good positive
They
feedback.
didn't. No, you didn't. From nobody.
In fairness,
No,
I think
well-
they've been having like a Channel 7 wardrobe sale here for about 3 weeks, so maybe the options were.
Do they actually do that? Do they do that?
Yeah,
Sell the clothes?
occasionally just open it up.
Look,
Yeah, right.
I thought it looked good.
Did you?
Look.
No, wait, honestly. When you looked in the mirror, were you like...
No,
Because Ember's made a good point. He knows that he's hopeless.
terrible.
I know I'm hopeless.
Awful.
So like we don't try and dance around the fancy side of town. I'm not sure you sort of know.
Look, I don't understand fashion at its highest end.
Clearly, runners.
But what I will say is these trained professionals do, so I can only take their word. I did look in the mirror and think, I'm not sure this is it. I'm not sure this is it. But I
Running
also
out of
thought
time.
she knows. And I even took a picture and sent it and said, this is it, right? And she's like, yep, perfect. So I've got her back in the
Did you have the
professionals.
Timos on?
Yeah, well, I because they don't send you shoes, so
Yeah.
I had 3 shoe options.
Just go buy a pair of Reeboks or something. Like
No, I had a pair of Nikes ready to go.
Yeah, you've got some sneakers.
I
don't you?
do. And then I sent the 3 options, and she said, "No, for sure these ones."
Timos.
She locked them in. Well, they are.
He's now wearing them with.
I'm wearing them
He's
now.
actually wearing them with his tracky pants now.
Yeah, I'm
That's how runnerish they were.
Can I just for a moment? And this isn't.
He's an athlete.
No, this isn't your influencer bullshit, right? This is real. These shoes. So what happened is I got inundated with this ad for these shoes.
Oh,
I
you've
can't
done
even
this.
tell you the brand for ages.
What are they
these-
called? What is the brand?
Wait, is that in all birds?
I feel like it's called Breeze or something like that. So Instagram, it was hitting
He's
me
been
up
watching.
every day.
Is it Breezer, the adults only little channel? That's why you've been getting.
relentless badgering from this company. And every time I was like, you know what? they aren't bad, those shoes. And then at one point I've clicked on the ads, so then the ads tripled.
Yeah.
So I'm just getting inundated. And at some point I went, screw it, I'm buying the shoes. So I bought a pair of like beige one. You've seen them, the beige.
I saw them all right.
Yeah. And then I bought a white pair, which I still haven't worn because I'm too scared to get them dirty. And they were so comfortable. They were so, but these were the real ones, the breeze ones. So I think I paid about 140 for 2 pair.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then,
that's okay.
And then I was on Temu for the first time ever, and the same shoes popped up for like $9.
Yeah, the Temus.
And I can tell you, I shouldn't say this to Breeze, poor company. These are just as good.
Oh, did you actually buy the Temus?
The blue pair.
I didn't know you got the Temus as well. I just called them Temus.
No, I've gone for the blue grey, and I've paid 1/7 of the price.
This is one, like 2 of your 9 wears you're going to get out of them.
I've been wearing them for 2 solid weeks.
Every day.
Every day.
Okay, right.
Wore them to the footy. Wearing them now. I might go for a jog.
You're going to go for a run.
I'm considering going for a run. They don't have much ankle support. They've got a lot of ankle. But comfort, it's like I'm walking on the
ground. What I'm really enjoying lately, for about the first 4 years of this podcast, I just cop shit the first 5-10 minutes, not relentlessly.
It's turned?
I've just turned it up on Daniels.
Well. Can we bring up, was it Friday night?
Friday night.
We saw
Because I
on
was going to
Instagram?
say, you're not going to escape.
After
the
the relentless nature of the bagging of my performance, we had one kick slip over on the arse.
This. I've got
There's
another
got to be
thing
footage.
to go to.
Wow.
There's got to be footage of this, right? There can't just be the stills.
No, it's just photos.
This is you trying to take a kick and just falling on your ass in the grey tracky pants.
Yeah.
So I know the context to this. So it's a Triple M they're going to go to this kid's training, and it turned out it was like an hour away, right? It was
an hour and 20 in peak hour.
Long time drive. So Zave goes down there with Caleb Sarong, and he's out there and he's coaching these young guys. It's been a bit of a wet weather day. It's starting to rain a little bit. He's come down in his tracky pants, and he's thinking he's very cool. You sit here and barking all this stuff out to these kids.
You guys ever seen the 2008 grand final?
He's flexing for Caleb because Caleb's there as well, and he's got a little bit of a crush on Caleb.
Little bit.
And then he's wound.
The grey trackies are a bad choice in that case.
He's tried to wind back the clock, and he's gone on the run and tried to launch one from probably 15 metres out. He says 50.
Yeah.
Straight on his backside, and then covered from head to toe in mud and rain. Drove back all the way up the freeway with no pants on. Am I
Correct.
right? Disgrace. Disgrace.
And couldn't find my phone. It had fallen out in the topple into the mud. You know, it was bad. It was bad. But to be fair, that's your version. Donated my time to the kids. Drove near Alice Springs.
You're a hero.
Good luck to the Piara Waters Pirates.
Yeah.
Caleb was grateful to see me there.
Oh, yeah.
I was only going to be there for 15 minutes because I was on carer's leave, so I wasn't even meant to be working that day. So it wasn't even meant to be working. Drove down there. My GPS froze, and I kept looking at the time. It's like, you arrive at 6 o'clock. It's like, shit, I haven't moved for 40 minutes. Like, how am I going to be there in 13 minutes? So I got lost on the way out there. It rained the entire time. I made a rule that the last drill Caleb did one. I said, righto, if you miss the goal, it's 5 push-ups for every one. We'll do them at the end.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, I'll join in. It's unfair to set a punishment that you want, set the standards.
Yeah.
First one, bang, straight through the middle.
Oh, sure, there's no evidence of that.
No, I kicked the ball twice for the entire night, and that was the second time.
You should have got out at 1.
I should have got out at 1.
You had 1 in you.
Should have got out. I don't know what I was doing.
At this age, you don't have any more. How old are you?
36.
Right, so that's
none.
one thing you shouldn't be
How
doing
did
at
the action
36.
look, though?
It was okay.
Looked
but
good. Yeah.
Can I bring up a second thing that you just embarrassed yourself with on Friday night?
Oh, no.
Out on the town.
Oh, another one.
This idiot. Ooh. So he thinks he's 21 again.
Yeah.
So he's out there with all the big boys. Mark Lacroix out there, and Nick Nat's out there, and Adam Selwood's out there, and they're all rehashing their heroic moments. But you were in
Scarborough.
Scarborough.
Just sliding off.
Scarborough is reserved for people 30 and under.
Yeah.
Okay? That is not for you. Grow up.
Which venue?
Grow up.
Grow up.
No, and I told Em, and I do apologise, I was going to be home in an hour. I think it might have been 2 or 3 a.m. No. And I got a message from a mate saying, Selb, I think it was, saying, you were buggered. I know you're buggered, which I was. Saw a photo of me holding a spirits glass.
Oh, no.
I'm a beer man only. Don't deviate.
No.
Bad way.
You stick in your lane, which is single fin.
Ooh.
15. Yeah. You can have 15 of them.
You can have 20
but
of them.
don't have one
premix
whiskey or anything.
Poor old Lecker. Not poor old Lecker. Lecker, Mark the Craft, you don't, like, he's good at everything. But he was pissed. And at one stage, he had his brand new shirt, felt nice and fleecy. Next minute, I look at him, he's missing one of his sleeves, and it's in my pocket. I don't know what happened there. And I said, I'm going to do the Saturday rub tomorrow morning. And he goes, oh, who's that with us? I said, yeah, JB, Damo, and Bernie. He goes, oh, Bernie. Bernie. And I was like, oh, what's happened here? He goes, oh, at a Bucks do, he threw a dart through my foot and he was wearing thongs. Lecker pegged one at Bernie first and missed him. And then Bernie waited, saw Lecker wearing thongs and just dropped one in the top of his foot. That was madness.
That's amazing.
Anyway,
Jesus.
so yeah, I'm back.
Oh,
Grow
all
up.
right.
No,
Grow up.
No, I am off the booze. Done.
Oh, please.
Yeah, right.
Till when? Tomorrow?
I've got a funeral, so
Yeah. You'll be
yeah,
having a few
Jesus.
this afternoon, I guarantee it.
All right. Well, let's get stuck into it. Good round of footy. Dave, kick us off then.
All right, let's kick it off. We're going to go North Melbourne. Let's start with the mighty Kangaroos to kick off. Are we pretty happy with their
This
performance?
will be the first,
no,
what's going on here?
No, because I look back on this morning. I reckon, other than the game against Sydney where they got pantsed, the last 6 have been not bad.
Great.
Very good.
Yeah.
very good.
Carlton getting
were-
favourable decisions late. That's
Yeah, but
unheard
Carlton
of.
were pretty restricted with the ruck situation and what was going on there. I get that you cop. We'll get to Carlton later. But I just want to go through North Melbourne. All the doom and gloom 6 weeks ago. I reckon there was talk about Clarkson. How long can he hang on for?
Yes,
even though he's one of the GOATs. All that sort of stuff. All that was going on. Now, right now, if I gave you the option, you're a coach in a position available. You can take whatever you want.
Adam Simpson, for
Simo.
instance.
And so Clarko's run off. He's coaching the England soccer team. So
Okay.
he's out.
He's going to reverse lasso.
Clarko's
He's doing a
become the
lasso.
Wayne Bennett. He does 3 years at each club and then moves on.
Yeah.
Now, which club v North Melbourne would you rather right now if you're a coach? So you've got a choice of either club to coach, okay?
Go.
Richmond,
North
Melbourne.
West Coast.
I'm only considering players here, aren't I? I'm not considering the infrastructure behind it.
Nah, and I think the gap's essentially closing with the soft cap anyway. But yeah, keep going.
Okay. Yeah, North Melbourne, the list for sure.
Yeah. Sorry, Richmond,
Yep.
Yeah, North.
Yep.
West Coast,
Yep.
North.
North. Yep.
St Kilda,
Yeah, North for sure.
Yeah, North.
Adelaide,
Probably North, yeah.
More. I still can't let go. North, but North. I'll say North.
Melbourne.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
North.
North. North.
It's coming.
What about Max Gordon on Triple M this morning? Said, it's not Fremantle's not a team you'd want to bump into.
Yeah.
And I thought the absolute opposite. I was like, Melbourne are a team you'd love to bump into.
Absolutely wanting that.
And the
first
last
week.
one I just chucked down there were the Gold Coast Suns. North Melbourne or the Gold Coast Suns?
Nah, Gold Coast. You feel like you could get there quicker.
I'm taking Gold Coast.
Gold
but
Coast.
But I feel, because deep down I feel like those two teams, and throw Fremantle and maybe Sydney, they're getting a little older, but maybe they're the four
Sydney's still in
teams
there.
in the next 5 years who are going to just go through the roof.
Yeah.
Because while Tassie's coming in, they're stockpiling and they're ready to go with all this youth. So it's exciting.
Go the Kangas.
I'm going to go to.
Don't know why I said
we'll go to Melbourne.
Oh.
They were awful, right? And I remember hearing Simon Goodwin's comments yesterday about post-game when he said, we just didn't have a ruckman that could win a hit-out. We don't have one apart from Max Gordon.
Well, that was a fair slap on. Who's the other fellow?
Harrison Petty and
No,
Jacob
they
Van
played in the
Rooyen.
twos.
Tom Fullerton, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he
Fullerton.
said he can't even get a hit out in the two.
He can't win a hit out the twos.
How's Tom Fullerton
No, I was
just
like,
tuning
wow.
into the post
So,
match
yeah.
and getting a drive-by?
This is negligence for their list management, because
Correct.
they went in. We might have had this
They had
conversation.
so many ruckmen for ages.
Yeah, but now they've got none. I reckon we discussed this earlier in the year. If something happens to Max, they are stuffed. And Max is a 32-year-old.
Well, I was going to say, when he was 27, you can take a slight
chance.
gamble.
Yeah, but not anymore.
But this is a 32-year-old.
But
He's going to be 33 at the end of the year. He's had a history of injuries back way in the day. Look, the chances of him breaking down, you need at least, even in the mid-season, go and get the best ruckman from the VFL
or someone like that.
Do something to give yourself a chance for an emergency ruckman. You can't have Van Rooyen and Petty jumping.
I have never in my life seen a game of football where a team did not win a clearance
in a quarter
for an entire. Surely the footy lands on your foot.
Awful. Just awful.
And then I made the
They
point
were
at
lucky
half
they
time.
didn't lose by
It was a
150.
vast improvement at half time. They had 3 clearances at half time.
Yeah.
3.
But someone made the point like they knew they were going to lose the hit out, so they had to have a plan for that.
Had to.
But then how did they just
didn't.
not do that?
No, they didn't.
I don't I don't necessarily blame team selection because there's no ruckman to pick.
It's a list
There's
thing.
no
and
one to pick.
Well, except for Paul Fullerton.
Well, he's not even a ruckman though. Like he's a forward that can ruck. He's not a full-time ruckman.
They had 0 clearances. That's also, don't forget, what the hell's Viney and
Yeah, that's
Oliver
true.
and Neil Bullen and those guys doing?
Because as you said, at some point, it's
You
like
have
we're
to have
not
a
winning the
plan for
hit-outs.
this.
Let's just shark them.
But they had to go in with a plan.
They ended up bringing up another forward, and then so I know Simon went. The second quarter centre bounce. There was no Oliver. There was no Viney.
Yeah.
They made a fair statement. It didn't work anyway. But
Yeah. Forwards go back, backs go forwards. All right, well, keeping in the theme of obscure ones off the top, we'll go normally the last one, Western Bulldogs.
yes,
That's got to be the
this
best.
is a strong start.
This is
North
we're all over the
Melbourne
place.
Bulldogs.
This has never happened
I know.
in the choosing section. Like we might have done this
Essendon.
accidentally.
Essendon
But
are sitting there
never-
going,
never-
thank Christ. Carlton, thank Christ.
That's got to be the most influential game of Rory Lobb's career. Right? How is this?
Buku
I
was
don't know
good
how this
too.
happened. Buku, yeah. How do they? If you went to the start of the season and said, "Oh, Bulldogs are gonna hold out Geelong because Buku Kamas and Rory Lobb
Yeah.
are gonna be towers in
And
defence."
I reckon you could tell that Jeremy Cameron wanted a bit of a slice of Rory Lobb.
Yeah,
Like, obviously
yeah.
spent time
He
at the
did.
Giants together.
Yeah, he's probably thought, here we go.
Oh, true.
I'm going to kick 10 tonight.
Yeah, and
not
they got
sure
a
how
rude
popular
shot.
Rory was when he left. I don't know, but I felt like Jezza wanted.
This is a
Slices.
chance. This is a chance for Rory Lobb to change the script.
Is he there next
Yeah.
year?
Well,
this might be
so-
the thing.
Yeah, so he leaves the Giants, kind of not great on the way out. He leaves the Dockers, kind of not great on the way out. It was starting to look
Already
like he was
makes
going to
noise.
leave the Bulldogs.
Well, it was done.
He was done and not going to leave well on the way out. So when you get to the third one, the problem isn't the club, it's you, right?
It's like the person who's been married 4 times.
Yeah.
Correct. Now,
I reckon there's
now-
an issue, mate.
I don't reckon it's the ones you marry.
Yeah.
It's so I think what he has a chance to do here is to go, well, okay, great. I was not going to get in that forward line with Darcy and Norton and Ugle Hagen.
yeah.
It just wasn't going to happen. I could do this. And if he can spin this, whether it's at the Bulldogs or somewhere else, but he could stay at the Western Bulldogs and be a defender. This is the moment where Rory Lobb's redemption arc starts, or he could stuff it and leave and go somewhere else and try to be a
Yeah, he's
forward.
got to stick this out, right? But he's a skilled big man when he wants to be. It's always just been an issue of when he
everyone's
wants to
so
be.
surprised how tall he is.
He's
Like
massive.
He's
he
always
was
huge.
much taller than
Yeah.
Cameron. So when he ball in the air that's slightly off
Yep.
his line, like, he just plucked it.
He was very, very good. This needs to be the start of something.
It's the Chris Tarrant move. Chris Tarrant
I-
2.0.
I'd like to see
Except
when a
Tarrant was
forward
a better
gets on
forward.
top.
Yeah.
Whether the
yeah,
the head drops.
Yeah,
Little bit.
Yeah.
Let's go to the Giants. So GWS, I think we all put a line through them about 4 weeks ago.
They were stuttering and sputtering.
They'd won
And the
one in
injuries
6
are
or
killing
something, and
them.
injuries were catching up. Anyway, they've gone bang, bang, bang. They've got the Demons at the G this week.
That's an easy
Great for the Giants too to get on the G, like just to experience it again. They've just come off the back of beating Gold Coast by 39. Lockie Whitfield. So can you remember 2 years ago we had chats about Lockie Whitfield and what's going on? He's playing out of position. Just let him get the footy. Stop mucking around with him. He was playing all sorts of places on the ground.
all over the shop.
In 2022, he had 2 games of 30 disposals or more in 2022. This year, he's already had over 30. How many times do you reckon?
How many games has he played? Has he played all of them?
Yeah.
Missed a couple, maybe?
Maybe missed
Give
one.
us
I'm
give us
going
10.
to say 10. Yeah.
Spot on, 10.
Yeah.
And it's not slowing down. So at the end of the season, if they don't do something about Lockie Whitfield, he'll have 15 games of over 30 disposals. I don't know whether we give enough credit to a turnaround there because that's pretty damning. Some of the stats, some of the games he's playing, to go back to 2022, he was having like 10 disposals.
Yeah. Not
10.
getting anywhere near it.
Does it always feel with the Giants that it's like they need some injuries to happen so that they reshuffle the deck and
To normal?
and refocus?
Yeah, I'm like,
It's like Green's
Lockie
now
Whitfield
gone
half
back up.
Shit, that's a good
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
Well, like
Yeah.
Tom Green's now elevated again,
Yeah.
and it's timing with Kelly and Canelio not being right.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, what can we ever just have them all playing and it all working?
Just all playing and all playing
Like,
well.
is that a thing?
Are they a chance to do damage?
They're playing this like this style is the same as when they were good. It's just a bit sloppier. Like they're just getting through the waves.
I
They're
don't
just
mind
not
that.
hitting everything.
Well, what I do think is in the back pocket, and we saw glimpses on the weekend, is that Toby's had a shit year. He's
Yeah.
been nowhere near
what's he
Toby
doing on the
Green's
weekend?
standard. He kicked a
did.
couple.
I saw him kick a freakish one.
Kicked 2 freakish ones, and he was okay. But if he can find a way
2
to
and 14.
elevate in the next 8 to 10 weeks, yes, they can do damage. but they need him to get to last year's Toby just for this final stretch because he hasn't fired a shot.
No.
And he's very capable
The
of
others
firing.
are coming. Isn't Darcy Jones like everyone's second favourite player now, or like top 5?
Love Darcy Jones.
Gotta be.
2-1 and 14. That's a poor. That's still not a great game. For
It's
Toby.
Well, he came off
but
the
when
year-
you watch,
you're allowed to have that
you
one.
missed that. You didn't watch that one.
Did I not watch the Giants? No.
No. See, if you watched it, he was.
I saw,
he
I
was
saw the
active.
goals. I was watching
Yeah.
live when they kicked the goals.
He
and I was-
looked more like Toby himself. Let's go to Sydney. It's are we concerned? 3 losses in 4. Papley looks like a serious ankle. Rampy a calf. Hayward ankle then played through it. Mills had to get managed after playing 1 game back. That's
Luke
not a
Parker
good sign.
wasn't. After I gave him all the love last week, he was near on missing.
Yeah, we're clearly seeing...
Coxie's there though.
But Coxie's there for the long haul.
Coxie's not going anywhere.
He's there for the long haul. A chink in the armour we are seeing because they were miles ahead for a lot of this season. But it's very hard to stay miles ahead
Do you know?
for a whole year.
Do you know the little bit too that I don't particularly buy into?
What?
Is when they say the teams that are around the top of the ladder, they might do a mini pre-season.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
they drop 1 or 2.
Have they said that? Has City said
No,
that?
but the same story comes out every year.
Yep.
Oh, they might drop 1 or 2 on
They're
the
in
way.
a heavy training
A heavy
load
training
right
load.
now. Yeah.
Just so you know, the heavy training load isn't like running 5 1Ks at the end or training for an extra hour. It might be 1 extra drill or doing 6 300s at the end of training.
Yeah.
Like at a slow pace. Like
Yeah.
it's the heavy training
It's an
load.
extra 5%.
Well, especially the stuff that we did at Hawthorn, who were always on top, and then West Coast were on top. So we did a heavy training load. It's not a great deal. It isn't. So I'm not buying in if they come out and say, well, they might be a bit dead in the legs.
The legs are slow. They're
Yeah.
heavy training.
Oh, let
load.
me know when they do a 250K bike ride during the week, and then I'll buy in. But an extra 7 minutes on the track, that doesn't count.
So this goes one of 2 ways. One, this is what needs to happen because
Yeah.
it's still a good month before
Everybody
finals.
has a lull.
And you're having a lull now, and it's good because we're not perfect. And I said, remember when they lost to Freo, and I said this might be the loss
Yeah.
they needed.
Now we're
I don't know
ready.
about that now.
Well, now the one I've got circled in the calendar coming up, they've got Port Adelaide at Adelaide.
That's big.
And I think that's a toss of the coin. It's in
is.
2 weeks. I
Port are better
circled
there.
that. Yeah.
And Port will need to win that.
Yeah,
Port
shit,
need to
yeah.
win
Oh,
everything.
yeah. They need to win everything.
So are we still thinking Sydney are the flag favourites? Just
Yeah.
quickly.
Yes.
I said the other day, no.
You think it's Brisbane?
I said Carlton, and then they fell off the board.
Yeah, no one.
Fell off their perch.
Still think they're ahead. Well, I'll go to their opponents for that one in Brisbane, and like, I just want to start off with an apology. I think about 5 weeks ago, I was wavering, and I said I may be ready to break up with Cameron Rayner, but we're back on. We're back on.
You two
Cameron.
you two will never.
It's an
really,
on again, off again.
We knew that you'd get back. That's why
We're back.
That's why we didn't do the thing where we bag Rayner out. You know, like,
No.
You
oh
can't,
no, he was never any good for you. He was a dick. Like,
I made a comment that has 0% chance of winning the flag. 0, and I said almost 0 of making the finals. Jeez, they're going to lose a lot now for me to look like I'm half clever.
well, I had the over. Me and my mate, we bet a couple of
Yeah.
teams in the over for the year, and that was 15 and a half.
Well, I think we all might have been overs on
Well,
our podcast.
everybody-
Eight
Yeah.
weeks
Gone
ago,
over.
we were dead and
Dead.
buried.
Yeah, cash out
Now
nothing.
we're back.
We're still alive
That's just-
somehow.
they're just like a good team who started poorly and just benefited from nobody else being that good and just jumped them.
Just remarkable. And here's a question: was last year? Compare the 2 years. Last year they were up all year.
Yeah.
They were probably the best side. Them and Collingwood,
Yeah,
but really
yeah.
they were wildly consistent, boring almost.
Yeah.
Never lost at the Gabba. Everything went right. Lose grand final by a kick.
Yeah.
Is this version better? Bit of adversity. Had to fight back, show a bit of resilience. Everyone's written them off.
Had to
Now they've
fight a
got this
few.
momentum. No one believes in us.
Oh,
Mentally,
Chris
this is better.
Fagan will have them revved up every week. You can't
Yeah.
afford to take your
Look
foot
at
off
this.
the gas.
Yeah.
Look at this team. Said Xavier Ellis said we
Nick,
couldn't win it.
Nick Rynne said I'm off Rayner.
Nick
That-
ditched,
that's
he's
not-
back.
Nick ditched
It's
Cam
on that.
Rayner. That's how bad
That's
things
how
got.
shit we're going.
Cam,
How
he
was it,
didn't
mate?
believe in
20,
you.
2 goals, 20 disposals. Very nice. 6 clearances, 7 inside 50s, game breaker.
Nah, he's still too yo-yo-y for me, Cam Rayner.
Well, last
Just
week,
about the Norm Smith
last
medalist
week
here.
against West Coast, there was a moment where he's burst through a pack and he's had a shot and he sprayed it. And I was
Yeah.
like, that's just Cam.
So close.
That's
Yeah.
just, we're so close,
No,
Cam.
no,
No,
We're
you
so
boys, he's still
close.
coming. He's still coming.
How old is Cam?
He'd be young. He's probably
Is he?
25, 26.
Is he?
I don't know.
He's,
How
he's,
old
he's,
is he?
he's a free agent.
But they're just getting like Shadow. How's Shadow Brain?
What about Shadow Brain?
What's
Just
his
quickly,
name?
I did a bit of research on him, thinking like Shadow. It's spelled.
You know,
Shadu-
Shadu.
I was like, oh, he
French.
must be born in Paris or something. He's born in Finley. New South Wales, where Hawk's from. Dad, my old man's from Finley. It's in the Riverina.
Right.
So, yeah, bloody,
Not too many shadows rocking around Finley.
There might have been a bit of that.
All right, we go.
Let's go to the team off the back of Brisbane in just as good a form.
Oh, he's 24.
I can't work out this. So JB was saying on the radio the other day they had Scrimshaw in the other day. It's unbelievable. We feel like we haven't lost in a long time. 6 weeks ago we were 12th. Now we're 13th. I can't work this out. They're still sitting out. They've won everything. Is Sam Mitchell, someone tweeted the other day, Sam Mitchell coach of the year? Who is coach of the year at the moment, you think?
If it's not a horse, it's Sam Mitchell.
I mean, there's an argument it could be Fagan for bringing him back from the dead. There's Longmuir has got to be a candidate. And I would say definitely the other one is Mitchell.
Mitchell.
Yeah.
And do you know what I find amazing? I might have said it a couple of times. If, say, I don't know, I'll just pick Campbell Brown. If, say, Campbell Brown put the cheer squad to sleep during a game, Sam Mitchell would likely punch Brownie in the face.
While they were playing.
Yes. As a player.
Yeah.
Now, that's what I love about him.
Gone soft.
Just the way he's letting his players be his players. Jack Ginnivan, all of a sudden, that trade is the whole circle.
We're going to go
you want to dive
Collingwood.
into that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's look at Jack Ginnivan really quickly. Did either of you guys think that Jack Ginnivan had Jack Ginnivan? But not even that. It's just the whole energy he's bringing.
Yeah.
He's been awesome.
And a little side kicker. So the Rising Stars are a bit of a dead race at the moment with Reid and Darcy and whatnot suspended.
Yeah.
I tell you who would have been a bloody good shot if he just straightened his kicking.
Oh, the Wiz.
If the Wizard hasn't kicked 14 goals, 30 and 8 out in the full, if it was the other way around and he'd kicked 30 goals, he would almost be the favourite to take home the bloody...
I was never worried about Watson.
No, neither, but...
He was going to miss a bunch of shots. He's finding his way, but he's got it. He's got it.
And you knew when he turned that one in on the boundary, he turned inside. You knew he was going to kick it.
Did you hear the commentary where they're like, oh, his body just wants to kick a banana, and he hit the drop punt. CJ's going really, really well too, but and just quickly, nothing worse when you're playing in a big game at, say, the MCG, and these little nipsies keep kicking goals and running to the crowd and jazzing them up. You're like, oh, you little shits. It does nothing for the game.
Oh, fantastic. Let's go to Freo. So you mentioned the clearances, 14-0 in the opening term. Lowest clearances in a half by any side ever was Melbourne with those 3 clearances.
Did they say whether a team had gone a duck egg in a clearance?
No, never happened.
Never
happened before. Could have been 100 plus. Dockers missed a few early. This is the thing that I always come back to. Anytime Freo lose a game and Jackson and Darcy are playing, it's that lazy narrative where it's
together.
like, oh, they can't play together. And the one thing I've been saying all along is Luke Jackson would be a great ruckman on his own. Sean Darcy is a very good ruckman on his own.
Yeah.
You saw what Darcy did in the ruck the other day, right? His relationship with those midfielders.
Mate, he rucked against Petty.
Don't
Take it out of the tent.
No, don't neg this because it was record breaking.
My foreskin would have won a hit out.
No, because as you said, it wasn't just that they didn't win a hit out. They didn't win anything. They didn't win a clearance, mate. So you can't poo-poo it.
So hang on. So I got a DM on my phone saying that the Dockers lose, and you're like, no, it's Hawthorn in Tassie. No, that's all right. Then they win, and you're back waving flags. Win or lose, you wave the flags.
Hold on a minute. You cannot possibly neg Fremantle.
We just said Hawthorn are the best team in the world.
I'm not.
So what Jackson does when he goes forward?
The forwards.
Josh Tracy was unbelievable yesterday. He's flying at everything.
Isn't their top 5 best players?
Yeah, he is. They don't have a matchup.
And then when he wanted to punch me in the head,
that was hilarious.
That was so good.
But I was
saying
really into it. I was like, a lot of people know that Steve May's unhinged.
Yeah.
A lot of people are about to work out that Josh Tracy's unhinged too.
He's the big kahuna. And you got to be a special unit to carry a nickname like that.
I love him.
And he
absolutely love him.
His hands are unbelievable. He's a brilliant set shot for goal. And him and Amos are going to, they're 21 and 20.
Yeah.
That's insane. And Jackson's 22.
I remember claiming Tracy at Waffle
when he was doing
level.
Waffle stuff.
But I did used to say there's going to be a period of 4 or 5 weeks that he will miss. He will he will near kill someone on those big...
He charges through.
Oh, he just charges.
Interestingly
So
enough,
love
on
for him.
Freo, in there, they got the Derby, and then they play currently 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Yeah.
Talk
Strong
about
running.
shaping the 8 there. That's an interesting run home.
They'll win the Derby by 80.
Yeah, I think so too.
But we thought that last time.
The Lions,
Scared.
the Lions 36.
I know.
The teams are in a very different place right now.
All right, I'll jump to Geelong.
Yeah, what's the line? 35?
Oh,
No, it's not bad.
Surely you're already done your work.
No, I haven't.
All right, I'll swap to Geelong. So this is a role play. I'm Bailey Smith, who at the
okay.
moment
Forgotten man.
it's going to Geelong or Hawthorn.
Hold
It
on,
sounds like where he's going to go.
Which team is this? Geelong?
Geelong.
Okay.
Sell me on Geelong. Forget about the off-field stuff, the cotton on deals
No,
and
'cause
everything
that's part
else.
of it. I'm gonna
But just sell me. I have to come in. You give me the PowerPoint about the plan. What's the plan for the
No,
next
I'm
five?
going down the path with Bailey Smith that, hey, Bailey, I think your career was heading towards Everest 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It fell off a cliff. You made some mistakes off-field. You blew your knee out on-field. We haven't seen or heard from you for 2 years.
Yep.
Come down to Geelong, where you saw Gary Ablett blossom, Stevie Johnson blossom, Tommy Hawkins battled at times and blossomed. The amount of players that have gone down there that could have been absolute mega, the faces in Melbourne and Collingwood and Carlton. Come down to Geelong, get your footy back on track. You'll be a star of the competition. We have a history of winning premierships. You haven't won a premiership yet. At the moment, you're a Bonds commercial.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
Come down to Geelong and we'll love you down here. It's a family environment. It's fun. It's friendly. That's us.
I would add to it, I would say...
How'd I go there
Go
first?
and sit,
That was
very
good,
good,
yeah, that
very
was
good.
good.
And I'd say go and sit in a room. We'll get Patrick Dangerfield and Jeremy Cameron to sit across from you. And they'll explain to you what moving to Geelong did for them. It made them winners. It made them enjoy life and footy at the same time.
Got a bit of
That-
property.
you
Bit
can
of
have
property.
a farm,
Everyone has a farm.
get a tractor.
Get the Mog's Beach or something.
Can you
Where's Deja?
imagine
Yeah, that's right.
Bailey Smith on a tractor shirtless?
Oh, yeah.
Wowee.
The Instagram hits
Like
would
Vlad on
be
the horse.
through the roof. Record-breaking Insta traction.
But right, so delete that chat. If you're Bailey Smith, you got Hawthorn or Geelong.
Probably Hawthorn.
Geez, I tell you what, if Bailey Smith can be Bailey Smith and go to Hawthorn, that's
good.
That's very exciting. For purely like non-committed to either of those teams, I want him at Hawthorn.
But just the shit show selfies and crowd and
Imagine
looks
if
and
Ginnivan and then
Ginnivan will get suspended one night.
You'd have to keep them separate though.
No,
You can't let them go out
Mitch
together.
just puts them in.
No, don't let them go out
They're
together.
in.
Imagine at Hawthorn with those other blokes, he's not the story. Like he's, third or fourth in line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's
Dave.
up?
Oh, is it me? Sorry. Let's go Port Adelaide. Butters has been fined over $35,000, which is staggering.
It's amazing.
Just quickly, that money goes to the AFL, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
I reckon, in all seriousness, it's time, because these fines are adding up. It should be directed back to maybe your local club
I have a feeling
or a
that
charity of
I
choice.
have a feeling it does go somewhere, and I'll find out for you and I'll let you know, because it doesn't just sit in the AFL's bank account.
Maybe Josh or someone can have a look if you can just Google it.
The
But
concussion
no,
prevention fund.
I my gut it says it's AFLPA gets it somehow, and it
because
redistributes.
when we signed it, when we used to sign our fines, it didn't say where it was going. It just that's your money gone back to the AFL.
Yeah.
So it never, whatever it is,
So what
there's a
happened
lot
if
of
you
money
didn't
now.
sign it? What happens if you just don't pay it? Just roll on.
Well, you don't play.
feels like there's feels
But
like
does
there's
that actually happen? Like, what's the escalation?
Nah, you just sign it.
you know
Move on.
what? Feels like there's a conspiracy here sitting there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, but I'm just.
Where does that money go?
Well, we used to say it was going to their Christmas party. We used to say they've got. So all of a sudden, Zach
Well,
Butters,
that's,
they've gone from Docklands to now they're in Cancun on Butters.
And it's cheap because there's only, as we established, there's only two of them working at AFL House.
So, just quickly too, Port Adelaide, there's only two. They've actually first class. Just quickly, their run home is difficult. They are in the 8. Carlton, Friday night footy. Sydney.
Like it.
Whoa.
And then it goes Melbourne,
You never know.
Showdown,
Ooh.
Dockers to finish.
Wow.
So that's a big run
That's a
home.
run.
That's a tough one.
They're close games I can see in all of them. And just quickly, the Ken chat this morning. Did you, did
Ken
you
West
catch?
Coast.
I saw that Goss tweeted that he was on the cards.
I thought Goss quit Twitter.
No, he's
back.
back.
Yeah, that's the Kate Cords was auditing that.
It wouldn't surprise me because now that Cox is out, he was their main man.
Yeah.
So they have to cast their net wider. A couple of other names, and we'll talk about it when
Who'd
we
you
get to
throw up?
West Coast,
Okay,
maybe.
okay,
Yeah, we'll talk about that at West Coast.
I feel like I'm delivering the goods today.
You're actually in pretty good form.
Yeah.
Let's go to
That's what happens
Collingwood.
when you haven't had beer for 2 days because you're dead frightened of everyone.
Let's go to Collingwood and let's unpack the Ginnivan thing because clearly there was some unrest. Remember the story came out that
So he
he'd
went
gone
to the races?
Races the night before.
the grand
He's
final.
not the first person to have done that.
Probably
Yeah,
not.
I thought that reaction was strange. Like,
Yeah.
everyone has different prep.
Yeah. Did the Pies misread? And I'm not saying that was the reason he went, but clearly, if you're picking him for your grand final side,
But I think we all agree that the Ginnivan we're seeing is not the Ginnivan we'd expect at Collingwood.
Well, it's added a layer to it.
Yeah.
It's almost his origin story, isn't it? It's like he's turfed out. No, they didn't want him.
The
and
fact
now,
he had 30 touches, like you'd go have games where we had 10 touches.
Well,
doesn't
I can't
happen.
remember who said it on the call, but they're like, nobody's really respecting Jack Ginnivan here, and that needs to change pretty quick.
Well, there was a world where remember when he first came in, it was all about the ducking. Just all he
was
did was
hated.
duck
He
4
was
times
hated.
a game, and he get 2 goals out of it.
Remember he got booed when he got injured and the Sydney crowd booed him, was it? Or something like that?
Yeah, he's on the bench. He was sitting on the bench. He was laughing,
Got hammered.
but inside you were wondering if he was crying. Actually, now I think he was laughing because he's a lunatic. But I think we're seeing another level of Ginnivan, and I reckon if you're the Pies, maybe you think he never would have got there here.
Yeah.
But I reckon they stuffed it.
I reckon he was.
I reckon they made
he was
a huge
handcuffed.
mistake.
I reckon he's handcuffed. I reckon Sam Mitchell's giving him just be
yourself.
yourself.
Well, then in that case, they stuffed it because they should have let him
But
be.
Collingwood won flags with him not being himself. They won the premiership with the ability to have a perfect system that worked well, play within the restriction. And he has come out and said that, I was a little bit, I didn't say handcuffed, but I was a little bit stuck by the style of playing.
Well, there was a clue to it in the post game with Craig McRae when he was saying, we all want to be winners and we want to act like winners and prepare like winners, and that made me think, well, that's probably like you go back to him. There was a winner behave like that, and be like, just let him.
But that
be who he
trade,
is.
so Lockie Shields would be on twice as much money as Ginnivan.
Yep.
Ginnivan's a better player. I got no
moment,
doubt. I got zero doubt about that. Ginnivan's
If you'd said that
Ginnivan's
coming
a better
into
player.
the year, you wouldn't have said that. But now I would say that.
But I would have. I think we all said Lockie Shields was 15 to 22 at Collingwood.
I think we liked the piece to add
Like
to what
the
they already
piece.
had.
Yeah, if you're a premier, you can add a piece. Absolutely.
That's
But
up to pick 6 now. They gave away
Is that-
climbing.
Jesus.
Was that you? Was it me?
That was me.
All right, I'll go to the Gold Coast. That blue jumper I never want to see again. You should burn it. The blue Gold Coast thing.
What's that NBA? Kevin Garnett. We should try and insert it. Where the famous courtside announcer's got his, the one that used to wear all the beautiful suits.
Oh, yeah, Craig Sager.
Garnett was like, burn it.
Tonight, I am stressing to you. You take this outfit home and you burn it.
Burn it all. Oh, no, it's a funny clip. It's a funny clip, that one.
It is awful. All of their kits look like something you created.
That's the one
year
that's
10,
worst.
In the class where you make paints and
the old paint.
Yeah, it looks like kids that you've got a year 1 class to like do your special design, and you pick like one of the mid-range ones.
Look at the foundation member. He's pissed.
Oh, mate, I'm pissed. But not only like is it just looks horrible, it's like stained. They can't win in it as well.
Or you'd say, okay, AI, make me a logo and a jumper.
I wonder what AI would do if you asked them to do that.
Well,
It'd be better.
Let's do it.
We should do it.
All right, we'll do a
Let's
few
do it.
options. Make us a good-looking one, and then make us a really average-looking one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so some good. Lockie Weller's back.
I
That's
don't-
good. Kicked a couple of goals.
I don't know if I'm going to be right with overs or unders with Gold Coast. But forget the figure that I said over or under on.
It's 50.
Everything I said about the Gold Coast Suns, I was so accurate on. They're just a club, and they've never lived up to anything. And if everyone was thinking, finals, dimmer. I just look at them and go, how is this a thing? They lost by 40 to the guy. Everyone knew they were going to lose.
Yeah.
Easiest tip of the year. Win at home, lose on the
What
road.
about 2? You'd
Yeah.
think after Dimmer gave him the F-bomb 2 trips ago, that they just, again, I just don't think
They're
the
not worried.
players are there. I can't work it out.
They need a madman. They need to trade in some madman who just holds everyone to account.
Well, I
every
think they
week
thought
in the-
they were
in the
trying
rooms.
to do that, right? They bring in like a Ben Long, and they thought, Mel, he's a little bit unhinged.
Nah,
We'll
you
bring
need a real
him in.
madman.
And he's not really crazy enough.
Okay, Keezy.
Yeah, Ben Keith.
Zave.
Segued myself. Clever.
Ben Keys.
Adelaide Football Club. Ben Keys.
Yeah.
The Keys, he's kicked, when I was looking at it the morning of, as many goals as Charlie Cameron this year, more than Isaac Heaney.
More than Ollie Henry?
All those, Ollie Henry.
He's probably kicked 62.
Ollie Henry's got 40
He's kicked 50, yeah.
We just don't know.
So the Keys that I'm just tipping my hat to. Great news with the injury front for Adelaide. Murray, not an ACL.
Oh, that's good.
It
and
never,
Butts-
ever goes that way.
Nah, never, ever. If you ever have any thought of, they're going for a scan, the inevitable
It's an ACL.
tweet you see is unfortunately a Hartzer with ACL. Butts has done a Liz Frank. Dawson's concussed. Stumpy Laird had niggles left, right and centre. And you won't believe who they've got this week. The Mighty Hawks. We've walked through the raindrops there. But I must say, you watch that game against Essendon, Again, I think we discredit whoever plays Essendon a little bit. You're like, it's only Essendon. You've put
With
that into me,
apologies.
right? You've put that into me. But that was a great game of footy.
Yeah.
That was a great. And what does
Unreal.
it say for Tex? I know there's a little bit circling around. Thriller was pretty good.
Fogarty was unreal.
Fogarty was good. Rochelle kicked 3 or 4.
Yes, I'm
I
like,
think the reality is it's done for Tex, isn't it?
You reckon?
Well, where they're at, the year they've had, the things that they have in the cupboard, Fogarty and Phil Thorpe, it's time to turn it over to them. I just think it's time. He's had a really good career.
If it's not Adelaide, it's not anywhere, I don't think.
Well, there might be a desperate team or two, like a Melbourne could probably.
Tell you who
Melbourne-
could do
Melbourne
with them,
could do it.
actually.
No.
The Gold Coast Suns as well.
Oh, yeah, I don't hate
So
that.
you don't have a Lukosius trying to play full
Yeah.
forward. He's
well,
been
he
a
might.
third piece.
Is Lukosius re-signed, or is he still maybe an
Oh,
asset at the end of the year?
Didn't we do this? Like
No, we're done
month
with
ago?
Lukosius. We're done with him.
Yeah, no,
for
but
now.
just like I mean, getting him out of the way there, and then there's more of a spot.
No, I think he's signed. Yeah, I think
he
he is.
signed?
I think he's
Okay.
signed.
If you combined all of the time we've spent talking about Jack Lukosius, we'd have 6 podcasts.
No, I love him. I just don't think it's like what the Ginnivan being in
Or Whitfield.
at Collingwood.
Wrong spot.
Before, when we were talking about Whitfield.
Yeah.
Where is he? What is he
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
No.
Oh, here we go.
Speaking of those Bombers, hey? Josh, if you could do the honours.
Oh, you've bombed him.
I've bombed them, but I still want to talk about them. I just wanted to do that. I just wanted to do that for dramatic entrance. They've lost 5 of their last 7. 5 of their last 7. And a lot of them haven't been against very good teams.
No.
What
They're
do you
losing
mean?
against teams that everybody else is beating.
No, geez.
Everybody
The
gets
D's, they're
beaten
losing
by
to the
Ben Keys.
Crows. It's
They
unbelievable.
lost to Ben Keys.
Now, I tell you what, on Friday, I was a little nervous at the start when they were 20 up, and I was like,
yeah.
geez, here we go.
And you
Then
look and they're
Adelaide
playing under the
stormed.
roof, and you think, oh, God,
you know,
there's not
here we go. Their run home. So they got St Kilda this week. Surely they can't lose to St Kilda. Surely.
Saints just beat a competitive Eagles by 72.
There's just... There's no way the Bombers can possibly lose this weekend.
Oh, God.
For a syndicate, I've got them missing the 8.
Well,
So I'm now you have rubbed into me
Yes.
so hard that
So?
I've now joined the trip.
So let's bank the win against St Kilda.
Are you banking?
We're banking
I don't
that
know
one
you
for
bank
them.
it.
I'm just being facetious. Okay, now, so let's put that in the bank. Now, let's say they're playing the Gold Coast in 2 weeks at Marvel. Bank it.
Oh, you gotta
Bank,
bank
that's
that.
double
it.
banking.
2 doubles.
Gold Coast can't win away.
Wouldn't
surely.
it be amazing if
Yeah.
it was the Suns' first win on the
Oh,
road?
no, don't.
Yeah.
I couldn't come in. Who's our mate on Twitter? Kev.
Kev.
I couldn't do it,
Now,
Kev.
the other 3 games they have, Fremantle, here.
Bank
No,
it.
sorry,
Yep.
that's at Marvel.
Bank it.
Bank it. Freo's going to win that. Sydney.
Oh, no,
they're
I'm
playing-
you're banking
I'm
it for
I'm
Essendon.
banking
Okay, all right.
Essendon.
Sydney in Melbourne.
Bank it.
They're going to win that too.
4 in a row.
And then Brisbane at the Gabba.
Oh, that's tough, but we'll bank it.
And then you
5
got
in
a
a
home
row.
prelim.
But they actually have to leave Melbourne for that one too. That's going to
Yeah.
be really. I don't know if they
Geez,
know where the airport
Geez, those
is.
last 3 are tough.
So 3 out of their last 5 are against top 4 teams right now, and then you're throwing in Gold Coast and St Kilda.
They got a
So-
healthy percentage though.
Yeah, but they're 8s.
98.7.
They're 8s. So 2 out of 3, 2 out of 5 is not going to be near enough.
Jeez.
So
That's
one,
rough.
they can't lose this week. Impossible.
Who are you cheering for?
Bank that.
Who are you cheering for?
What do you mean?
Would you be cheering for Essendon or St
What
Kilda?
do you reckon?
Oh, such an ass.
I don't even know where this has come from.
You just hate them.
I
You
just
just
want
all
to
of
be
a sudden.
right.
Yeah, you
I just
hate
want
them.
to be right.
Oh,
I'm doing this
God.
for you, Essendon fans. Don't accept mediocrity.
Oh, I'm doing it for you.
I'm doing it for you, Kev. Where's the camera? Kev, this is for you.
Kev, get your order, get your checklist out. I think Rhino ticked a few boxes then.
I think he's definitely ticked a few boxes. All right. Well, changes the way we look at St Kilda. I'll skip to Richmond. Slightly better. Just need to get Harvey in there in the number 4 because Dusty, what the hell's going on with Dusty?
So Dusty goes,
Dusty
and you bring
goes,
in our
we
man
bring in
Harvey.
Harvey. They
He
get
gets-
hard for Harvey.
Yeah.
Put him in the number
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
They win another 3 flags.
Get hard for Harvey.
Get hard for
Because there's
Harvey.
another team that's got pick 3 at the moment.
Oh, okay.
West Coast.
Imagine if we got the big fella to West Coast.
Oh, you'd
If you be foster
impossible.
family, that like what's
He can
that
live
like
with me.
foster family thing?
Sorry, Duggo, sacking you on Triple M. Yeah. Young kid, never played a game. We've got him segment every week.
Poor kid.
But the Dusty chat.
The Dusty thing's just-
We were talking about it on Saturday morning, and more unlikely than likely to be at Richmond next year.
You'd have to say,
Yeah.
if you just...
He's just bailing and like
No,
wants to
but-
go.
A
Yeah.
lot of times you can read tea leaves in footy, and
Yeah.
it's not that hard to read them.
No.
Nah.
And you remember the game that he played that was the 300th, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And he said post game, "Oh yeah, no, I'll be back.
See you next week.
See you
or
against
yeah,
Freo." But
yeah.
that game when he said it was actually 2 games away. So he already knew he was going to miss another one.
Yeah.
And then he didn't play in the Freo game.
Because they subbed himself off in the one after his 300th, I reckon.
Yeah.
Or he played the one after 300, subbed himself off and never been seen again.
Hasn't
back
been seen
injury.
again. Like, if you're just reading the play, it feels like it's done, doesn't it? And that's fine.
A curveball
that's
off
fine.
Dusty, Kane Corns. We love the Corns, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He lines
I
them up.
like his place in the game.
Yeah, no, sorry, more just for content.
Yeah.
No, I like the Corns. He had a whack at Uze for being a cheer
I
squad
saw
member.
that.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I did see that.
What did you make of that?
That's a little harsh.
What moves do
That's
you
a
want him
little
to
harsh.
make with that squad? Like, what's he going to do?
Well,
I like it.
What are you supposed to do if you're Uze? If you're having a game where you're competitive, get down there and get amongst it. Like, encourage it. You want to see more of it. Well, like, I can understand what Kane is saying. You need more ruthless at that point. Blah, 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 blah. By the way, are we on Richmond? We are, aren't we?
Yeah, Richmond.
I reckon, like, North Melbourne is going to go, they're going to win 2 more games. They're going to beat Richmond and they're going to beat West Coast.
Yeah.
So North are going to jump to 16th, then it's going to be West Coast, and then it's going to be. So Richmond are going to win the spoon. You can't see.
And then it's so hard because number pick 2 then.
Well, at home,
Maybe you're right by then.
he might not be 1.
You know, he'll be 1 now, surely.
Yeah.
He jumped from 320 to 4 in the rankings ever since X got on him.
Remarkable.
Yeah.
I've got Carlton.
Is this your last team?
Yeah, last team. I don't really have much about Carlton, to be honest with you. I went home and watched the 3 quarters last night.
Do we feel like they're firing?
No, they're not.
No.
And
They're not.
What do you make? The concussion stuff, more as a broad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they're in for a tap on the shoulder. Please explain.
Yeah, because then he kicked the goal, but he should have at least been off.
Yeah.
Haven't we come far enough now? That
But
we
having
just-
said that, I did watch the Origin on Wednesday night, and Hunt got absolutely shit mixed.
I like how the NRL's just gone, screw it.
It jogged off.
We're going the other way.
No, but they generally
gotta be-
good.
you get-
They generally get ripped. Were you shocked to see him come back on?
Yeah.
Shocked.
Normally it's straight off.
Straight
HIA,
off, gone,
done.
out.
And if you don't take him, then the third umpire comes in and says,
They've
that
ripped
guy
you
needs to go.
off. They've ripped you
Yeah,
off.
get out there. He's off.
Yeah, so I'm surprised by that. But it's interesting, the concussion stuff that's kicking around and circling around. I just can't see it. They're going to crack down on someone or something and make a statement.
There needs to
I don't know
be-
whether you can say, sorry, maybe they come out and say, oh, hang on, I'm just picking Channel 7 because the replay didn't load or whatever it was. But it was just like, oh,
Yeah.
I think he's got to come.
Something needs to happen where there's a third party
Yeah.
that is making the decision
1000%.
for the clubs.
1000%.
Yeah.
Well, that's the NRL.
Yeah.
So
If
take
you
it
don't
out of
do
the
it,
club's
we
hands.
will.
Take it out of the players'
agreed.
hands. Nah, duty
Yeah,
of
that's
care,
what I
you're
hate
out.
is the wave or the thumbs up and they turn around.
Yeah.
No, they don't get to make that call. Like
Nah.
everyone's
No.
going to say they're right.
Well, Petrarca wasn't concussion, but it's the same thing.
Yeah,
It's
like
like
an
everybody
animal.
watching that game went, "There's no way that bloke should be going back
He
on
was
the
more
field."
pale than myself.
Yeah.
Insane.
there is
Remember, he
bleeding.
said one of the
Yeah.
Collingwood players actually said to him, "You shouldn't be out here.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Yeah.
you need to go. You need to go and sit down." Like,
Oh.
that's a lot. No, I am concerned about the Blues' momentum, but there's plenty of time.
It
for
killed a
them to
little
get
bit, the
there.
deconing stuff yesterday.
And they're trying to stuff around with things as well now.
No.
Halfback
Hey, we
and-
do. Oh, it's too late now.
They made the right call playing one ruck.
Yeah.
They just got unlucky that the one ruck got hurt.
Yeah, can we give some love to Sam DeConing just briefly because he's doing
Yeah.
some things in Geelong.
Yeah.
True.
Little.
Not winning a lot of hit outs.
No, but he's around about the mark.
No,
isn't he?
he's coming
He's
along
undersized.
nicely. He's
for
coming
it.
along nicely.
The last one, West Coast. Xavier Ellis dropping news bombs on Triple M this
Yeah, I
morning.
did hear this.
Something,
No.
something that I am hoping doesn't happen because if it does happen, and he's right, I might have to just resign.
Is this
I
more-
might have to just quit
Is this
media.
because has he got evidence that you did shit yourself at Potato
Well,
Head?
I'm going to go open an avocado farm somewhere down south.
With Lecker.
Oh, that
With
sounds
Lecker,
nice,
I'll do
actually.
that. Well, I won't put a dart in his foot, I promise.
Did you do that phone topic when you filled in for me? When did the rumor start about you?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you dropped that Danny Daly, who's the GM of
I
footy,
didn't drop. I just gave an opinion. Yeah.
GM
Informed
of footy,
opinion.
Danny Daly
No.
at the Brisbane Lions, who spent 5 years at Richmond, 6
What
years
years
at,
did he spend at Richmond?
pre-2014, so 09 to 14.
Yeah.
And then he's gone to Brisbane. He's an assistant for 6 years,
Mm.
and then he's moved into the GM of footy roles, head of strategy at one point as well. You're saying that
Might
he
have
is
put the list
now
together.
he is
Lean
now
list,
somebody that is
Fags right there, man.
absolutely in the mix for the West Coast
I'm not
job.
saying that. I think he'd be a good person. I like Fags. Fags is someone I spent so much time with at Hawthorn. He didn't have a playing background.
Yep.
He sat next to Clarko, right-hand man, for a long period of time. he was actually the person that Clarko went to, like I'm sure it is for Fags.
Yep.
So you're actually the first layer. The assistants may not be the first layer. Maybe they've all got one person. So Mark Evans flew Clarko as well before Chris Fagan, and then Dougie went off and ran the AFL and then went to Gold Coast CEO, whatever. But they've all got one person. So like we're sitting there going, how about these assistants? But I'm just saying maybe outside the assistants, there might be a right-hand man who doesn't have a title of an assistant, like Fakes.
Often that GM of footy is the second in charge in a way, if you know what I mean. Like, because it's an intimate relationship, isn't it? They rely on each other heavily. That's an interesting one. I
just threw a curveball out there.
I hadn't heard it, and I like it. Stewie Jew is the other one that I reckon needs to be in the conversation.
Have you heard anything?
I reckon he's in the conversation.
Okay.
Because I reckon
Where
what
is he
happened...
now? He's somewhere helping.
I reckon what's happened is, with Cox coming out of the conversation, the net has gotten wider.
Which it should have been as wide to start with.
It should have been wide. Yep. Is that it? Or you got one?
No, I got one more, but it's St Kilda.
Well, we've used the bullet, but you can have another one if you like.
Yeah, well, there were two reasons to watch St Kilda, and it was the poo and Liam Henry when he was up and about, and they're both done, so we might as well give them let's do it, let's call it.
Well, we didn't really bullet Essendon, so...
No, we kept going, so we got a bullet.
Good news for Stewie Jew.
Huh?
He had a kid 2 days ago.
Hey,
Oh, well done, Stewie.
I just searched it.
is he looking up schools in Perth yet?
So his wife is, of course, the weather for Sydney South. Yeah. I'm just trying to see what club he's at.
Yeah, he's somewhere helping out. He popped up, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, where is it?
Lions.
Brisbane Lions.
Oh,
That's
there
it.
you
It's only in a part-time-ish role, isn't it?
Yeah, Lions.
Just sticking his head up. There you go. All right, that's been
Maybe him and Danny Daly come over as a combination.
Oh,
But
man,
sure.
one too.
Right.
This has been the Hardball Gets AFL show. We'll see you back here tomorrow for question time. Catch you then.